Hey, I'm Dr. Charles P. Winston, Young Elders Butler, a regularly featured guest on the Young Elders channel about extraterrestrials. I have years of research into the ancient astronauts and ancient technology from your distant past and future. Over 30 ancient cultures reference interaction with physical beings they considered to be gods. Modern archaeology considers these stories to be myth. We will discover the galactic laws in this amazing video. Join us as we journey through the captivating rules and regulations of the galactic laws. This video is perfect for cosmos lovers, galactic travelers, and anyone fascinated by the wonders of our universe. Don't miss out on this magical experience. Watch now and let the galactic law illuminate your world. Hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more bangers. Hit that bell. Check back with us every day for new content. Let's go in. According to the laws and constitution of the Galactic Federation of Life, which we have suffered to be established and should be maintained for the rights and protection of all life in the galaxy, according to just and holy principles of the All. All is, and all is well. We, the people, we hereby state that the power of the galactic government rests with the masses, the galaxy as a whole. We, the people of the Galactic Federation of Life, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this constitution for the Galactic Federation of Life. There is order and a government structure in the heavens. First of all, where is heaven? Most religions teach you that heaven exists. They say up. There, the question then becomes, up where? We are on the Earth, and it's a round globe that has a diameter of 7,926 miles. The planet Earth, called in Hebrew Eret in the Bible and in Arabic Ard in the Quran. The Earth has no foundation because it is travelling through a vacuum or space 1,037 and 1/3 miles per hour in orbit around the Sun. So in our movement around the Sun, we don't have a bottom, and since we are in perpetual motion, we don't have a top. Heaven is a place. It is a state of existence. Heaven is an expansion of up, down, and around. Heaven is the 5th dimension and up to the 9th, which is still a physical plane where beings live. It has stars, planets, moons, and etc. Keep in mind the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th dimension make up the 5th. In fact, Earth sits in heaven right now. Heaven is not what religion has made it out to be. They teach us that heaven is a supernatural place in where God or gods, deities, angels, souls, saints, and other celestial beings are thought to reside. It's often described as a highest place or a paradise and is often depicted as an expanse that stretches over the earth like a canopy, dome, or vault. Heaven comes from the word haven. The word haven means a place of safety or refuge, or an inlet providing shelter for ships or boats, a harbour or small port. For Bible readers, the word heaven in the New Testament translates as Orion, which is a star system about 1,344 light-years away. Heaven in the Old Testament is star systems according to Job chapter 9, verses 8, 9, where it said, "Who alone spreadeth out the heavens and treadeth upon the waves of the sea? 9, who maketh Arcturus 36.66 light-years away from Earth. Orion and Pleiades, which is 444.2 light-years from Earth and the chambers of the south. Angels, which really means messengers. Who are beings that come down from heaven, the angels or aliens? They are really extraterrestrials, which refer to any object or being beyond extra the planet Earth, terrestrial. It is derived from the Latin words extra, outside, outwards, and terrestris, earthly, of or relating to the earth. The angels are sometimes referred to as hosts. From some people's perspective, heaven is a place of peace, love, community, and worship, where God is surrounded by heavenly beings. It's also the place where the souls of believers go after they die. Some Christians believe that the only way to enter heaven is through Jesus, and that those who have died with lesser sins, like gossip or petty theft, must first be purged in purgatory before they can enter heaven. Some of this is true. There are many heavens in the universe, which is huge, far past the average human's brain capacity. Each star system is referred to as a heaven, and there are billions of star systems in your galaxy alone. Then there is trillions of galaxies in one universe, and there are many universes. This is why Yeshua said, "In my Father's house are many mansions." If it were not so, I would have told you. One universe can expand over 30 to 99 billion light years. This is all part of what the real heaven is. The heavens is mapped out in light years. 1 light year is 6 trillion miles, which is the distance light travels in a year. There is 9 dimensions. Most beings live on 3rd, 5th and 7th. There are evil beings trapped on 4th and 6th. Right now, you are in the 3rd dimension, moving to the 5th, which a lot of beings on your planet will not survive the shift. There are many other planets going through this shift, as your planet is right now. Many of the planets outside Mars have made this shift a long time ago, which is why they appear as a gas ball. You have different types of government systems. The main one is the Galactic Federation of Life, which includes several smaller councils. The Galactic Federation of Life, GF, is a large coalition of civilizations from many different galaxies in our universe and is located in the Sirius star system, which is the capital of this sector of the galaxy. This is where Nibiru reside. The members work together for the harmonious existence of all life in the Milky Way galaxy and beyond. The Milky Way galaxy's Galactic Federation of Life was established at the end of the First Great Galactic War that was fought in the Lyra, which is another name for Ilion, where the planet Rizq is located. The war was fought between the Rizkians, humans, reptilians, felines, carrions, and many other races. After this war, the survivors decided that they must establish some way to arbitrate disputes so that this kind of destruction, the destruction of the Rizkians and other homeworlds, would not occur again. Thus, the GFL was established, with the founding members being Lyrans and the Orion group, which include the Najaru, feline beings, the Germonians, Rizkians and many other races. Their first flagships are Nibiru, Atlantis, Destiny, Pelagai, some of the few ships active after the war. This was a very painful time, and the wounds of this war would take many dimensions of time to heal. In the beginning, the GFL was very small since so few had survived the war. Nibiru, Lyran Council and Orion Councils doubled as the administrative arm of their new founded federation. In other words, they were the GFL. In time, new races were created as offshoots of the original 4, and the GFL welcomed them as they reached galactic status, as you are about to do now. So the Galactic Federation of Life grew and became a very large and powerful federation of worlds devoted to universal peace and prosperity. Now there are millions of members from across your galaxy and other galaxies as well. Each race, civilization and planet has an opportunity to have a representation within the GFL. These councils vary in size depending on population as well as the amount of responsibilities they carry within the management structure of the GFL. There are literally thousands of these councils and many races representing their worlds. The GFL is much larger than we may imagine. It is larger than the Republic and the Galactic Federation of Light put together. The Great Halls of the Galactic Federation of Life. The GFL has one major overseeing council, which has representatives from each member council. This council meets in the Great Hall. With that said, each council has its own Great Hall. Perhaps this is why there is so much confusion around this Great Hall business. Many channelers attend meetings in the Great Hall and think there is only one, when in fact it could be the Great Hall of one of the member races or civilizations. You see how quickly it gets all complicated. There are thousands of galactic halls. The Nibiruan Council is one of the largest councils due to its additional duties, one being the host council managing the complex details for the current Earth-Grand experiment. Another is to help negotiate alliances and maintain peace among the different worlds of the GFL and assist new and incoming members. For this reason, Nibiru is not a planet with just one civilization. It has many representatives from many races, 400 different species, and 144,000 representatives. The Galactic Republic, also known as the Republic, the High Republic, and the Old Republic, was a democratic union posing as the Republic, comprising of thousands of worlds spread across the galaxy. They are the bad government. Democratic, do what thou wilt, is the supreme law of the Republic. which is governed by a legislative body of senators, the Galactic Senate, who represented their home worlds. It was the Senate's prerogative to elect a supreme chancellor from among their ranks to serve as the government's leader. The Draco star system is the capital world of the Republic and therefore the seat of the Senate. The Galactic Republic was started by Tarnush, a humanoid reptilian from the moon of Saturn Titan. The Draco reptilians control the Republic, founded approximately a couple million years before the battle on Rizq. The Republic governed the galaxy from the core worlds to the outer rim territories, uniting various sentient species, human and alien alike, under one banner. As its power grew, the Republic engaged in various wars with the Rizqian's empire and several other empires. The ancient mystic order of Melchizedek, a spiritual order adhering to the good side of the All, supported against the Republic and are their enemies. After centuries of conflict and decline, the last war between the Rizqians and Reptilians concluded with the dawn of the Old Republic era. After it was an age of unprecedented peace that lasted for almost a millennium, beginning with the rise of the modern New Galactic Republic. History was officially reset, and the ages before this event were merged into a collective whole known as the Old Republic. During the High Republic era, the Republic endeavored to expand galactic civilization through exploration and colonization. Political stagnation undermined the Republic in the final years of its rule. The separatist crisis divided the Republic between loyalists and the newly formed Confederacy of Independent Systems. The Old Republic was destroyed or trapped, and the New Republic was started by Halal, son of Tarnush, who convinced one-third of the galactic angelic host to join him. The Galactic Federation of Light are an entity of beings focused on the preservation of all light in creation and its ascension, security, protecting and assisting in this process. They claim to be helping the galaxy as a whole, but they are hard to be trusted, since they do business with the Draco Reptilians and other clans who are against us. In the ongoing fight of light and dark, their intentions, they say, are good. They called themselves the Great White Brotherhood. Sound familiar? KKK? These are the same guys who influenced Jakub and Hitler to create their superior race. Their slogan is, "The GFL needs you." Sound familiar? The army, and little do you know what Uncle Sam is all about. These are the same guys in on the decreased population thing and controlling it. Also keep in mind, light only makes up 1% of the universe. This federation is ran by Ashtar Command. The head person of the Galactic Federation of Light is Sharon. They are the neutral government. The Galactic Federation of Light was founded over 4.5 million years ago to prevent interdimensional dark forces from dominating and exploiting this galaxy, they say. At present, there are just over 200,000 member star nations, confederations or unions. Approximately 40% are humanoids and the rest are various forms of sentient beings. Most members of the Galactic Federation are fully conscious beings. There is a Galactic Federation in each of the inhabited galaxies of our universe. You have four natures of beings in the universe. You have malevolent, benevolent, neutraloids, and the confused neutraloids. The malevolent are bad, disagreeable, and ways. The malevolent beings are also referred to as cherubims. The malevolent spirits usually go against the good, and malevolent can be evil, but not all malevolent are evil. Then the benevolent beings, who are good and agreeable, yars. The benevolent is also called the seraphim. Keep in mind, not all benevolent are good. Then there is the neutraloids. They're referred to as the Nephilims. They sit in between the yars and the ways. Neutraloids are beings who have both natures. They are good and bad. They have willpower. We call these beings clashers. They can do good or bad. Then you have the confused, which are beings who are neutraloids but are unbalanced. These are the Yahwehians. Watch now, the universe is based on three. The atom has three parts. There are three states of existences, solid, liquid and gas. There is really 9, but we will let them wonder about the other 5 for a while. The fourth they refer to as semi-solid, which is like jelly, gel or jello. Keep in mind, beings exist in all of these states. You have beings that exist in a jelly or jello type state. We just want to be clear on these things as we get into the galactic laws. You have different types of civilizations, which are broken down in types, You have. Type 0, a civilization that harnesses the energy of its home planet, but not to its full potential just yet. As you might have guessed, that's your good old human selves. You're currently at about 0.73 on the Kardashev scale. It is presumed you'll reach Type 1 in about 100 years, give or take, depending on how fast your technology advances and how diligently you procreate. Type 1, a civilization that is capable of harnessing the total energy of its home planet. This is where you're heading, whether you want it or not. The good part would be that you'd achieve an ultimate peak. The bad part is that you've then soon have more energy demand than supply, because evolution can't be so easily halted. You have to leave Earth and start pumping other planets for their worth, or even milk your own star directly for its power. Regardless, becoming a Type 1 civilization is overall a good thing. As a Type 1 civilization, you would be capable of controlling Earth entirely. Maybe even influence the weather, control volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, influence global flora and fauna, geological makeup, plate tectonics, etc. That's pretty awesome. On the flip side, you'd have to recycle everything to get by. Type 2, an interstellar civilization capable of harnessing the total energy output of a star. This is the next stage in the evolution of a civilization and presumes a level of technological development that allows for gigantic constructions and utmost efficiency. Dyson structures come to mind here, which are gigantic constructs meant to harness the energy of stars. I imagine a Type 2 civilization would not just build these megastructures but also inhabit them and completely control what goes on inside them. It would control the orbit of all planets in that system, harvest asteroids and comets at its leisure, and basically consume the entire solar system. An intimidating power to behold. Type 3, a galactic civilization capable of inhabiting and harnessing the energy of an entire galaxy. Here we start to venture into truly high-level science. Imagining this scale of evolution, a Type 3 civilization would span the entire galaxy, colonizing and controlling numerous systems. It would be able to harness, store, and use the energy output of all stars within that galaxy. Such a civilization would use planets like building blocks, being able to move planets from one solar system to another, merge solar systems, merge stars, absorb supernovas, and even create stars. The galaxy is their playground, and everything in it becomes a toy. Type 4, a universal civilization capable of harnessing the energy of the whole universe. This civilization would be supergalactic, able to travel throughout the entire universe and consume the energy output of several, possibly all, galaxies. Think of that real estate size. It would also be capable of projects of gargantuan proportions, such as manipulating space-time and tinkering with entropy, thus reaching immortality on a grand scale. An essentially indestructible and highly utopian civilization. The next civilization is Type 5, a multiverse culture, capable of harnessing the energy of multiple universes. Welcome to metaphysics. Leave your common sense at the door and count your strings before entering. No doubt a child of the increased popularity of string theory, the Type 5 civilization would outgrow its own universe. It would span countless parallel universes, being able to manipulate the very structure of reality. Find that hard to imagine in practical terms? You're not alone. We're all friends here. Type 6, even more abstract, is the Type 6 civilization. The Type 6 exists outside of time and space and is capable of creating universes and multiverses and destroying them just as easily. It's similar in concept to a deity. It's hard to imagine a story with such a civilization, since its perfection and indestructible nature would offer little conflict potential. Unless, of course, you're a lower type of civilization waiting to be chewed, swallowed, and digested by one such Type 6 monstrosity. Recipe for paraversal tragedy. World levels refer to the technological levels of worlds. We will go over the list of technological levels and the expected capabilities of a species at that level. Note that the technological development of many species does not follow this list exactly, and some species may have access to technology above their considered level. World levels are determined by the level of technology that is most commonplace, not the species' greatest achievements. Modern-day Earth in real life would be considered a level 5 or 6 planet, while you have, at the time of this writing, Level 14 technology. Level Null, no life whatsoever. Level 0, no sentient life forms. Level 1, basic sticks and stone. Level 2, fire, basic stone and wood tools and weapons. Level 3, basic construction and metalwork. Level 4, commonplace building projects like aqueducts, metal armor, steel weapons. Level 5, basic chemistry, gunpowder weapons, gears and pulley systems, steam engines. Level 6, basic circuits, combustion engines. Level 7, basic computer circuits, aerodynamics, airplanes. Level 8, basic EM wave communication, e.g. radio, basic mechanics, cars, robots. Intermediate medicine level 9, commonplace circuits, commonplace wireless communication, internet, experience chemistry. Level 10, alternate energy sources, wind, solar, micronization, microchips, basic robotics. Level 11, nuclear energy. Level 12, basic nanotech, robotics that mimic the dominant species. Level 13, basic fusion energy, basic prosthetics. Level 14, remedial biological technology, simple nanotech. Level 15, basic plasma technology, intermediate nanotech, basic cyborgs. Level 16, intermediate plasma tech, anti-gravity, basic synthetics. Level 17, intermediate biological technology, xeno-environmental suits, advanced cyborgs. Level 18, basic terraforming technology, biospheres, basic synthetics. Level 19, commonplace plasma technology, basic warp drive theory. Level 20, working warp drive shields, basic over technology. Level 21, hyperbiological theory. Level 22, interstellar communications. Level 23, warp conduits, beacons, basic teleporters. Level 24, holograms, cloaking device. Level 25, hyperspace conduits / path of the stars, universal translators. Level 26, Z-space model, self-repairing components. Level 27, cold fusion plasma tachyon technology. Level 28, transwarp theory. Level 29, basic Z-space access, subspace energy. Level 30, electron writing, cross-dimension theory. Level 31, basic hypermatter theory. Level 32, basic subspace mechanism. Level 33, subspace capacitor. The worlds are broke down in classes. You have Type A through N Class A. This planet is mostly a barren desert with an atmosphere. Class B, similar to Class A but with ice on its polar caps. Class C, this is an ice planet, a world made of ice, C1, or covered in perpetual winter, C2, with an atmosphere. Class E, an ice world with large oceans under the ice. Class F, a desert world with an atmosphere. Class F2, an F world with some degree of oceans or large bodies of water. Class G, a jungle planet, a forest planet with high humidity. Class H, a swamp planet, a forest planet with high water saturation of the majority of land masses. Class I, a forest planet covered mostly with trees or a similar analogue. Class J, a plain world, a world covered with fields / savanna. Class K, a city planet, a planet covered entirely by man-made works. Class L, a poison planet, a planet filled with pollution. This is the only type of garden planet not protected by galactic law. Class M, a mixed planet, a planet with a range of different biomes and environments. And Class N, a metal world. Galactic law was the system of law, parallel to international law on Earth, upheld by many interstellar governments. It was enforced by several species of the galactic family of life alliances who are keen upholders of galactic law. The Galactic Charter was an important document of galactic law. The rules of the Ascended are that one cannot interfere in mortal affairs, a rule that is sometimes broken, causing the one who broke the rule to be punished by the other ascended beings, who are called the Others. Often this punishment hurts the mortal world instead of the responsible being, so as to show the transgressor the effects of his actions. The only time someone managed to directly interfere without being stopped was when Yeshua Jesus aided mortals against Hylel, the devil, and his draconians, Ori followers on Earth, using his powers more freely as the Others were not there and were unable to stop him, the devil. He was given a pass to live as a mortal. He was given a pass to break the rule of non-interference. The thing that Yeshua Jesus did would clearly be violation of the rules, such as when he healed a mortal of blindness and fed 5,000. The Others have only been seen to interfere when an ascended being tries to do something directly, such as change or go back in time to alter the future. Galactic law is a series of rules and regulations handed down from the ancient, Rizkians, 24 elders, and the most high since before the beginning of time. Any civilization that refuses to follow the rules of galactic law are considered abhorrent invaders, and sanctions are placed on their societies, ranging from population limits to bans on space travel. The first law is the most well-known and most important law in the constitution of the Galactic Law. It states that no fifth or higher civilization can or should interfere in the development of a lower third to fourth civilization without adequate cause. The punishment for breaking this law is possibly the second death or exile to the null zone, dark nebula, or to third or fourth dimensional prison held on random planets. A species may interfere with such a species only if it is to counter another advanced species' machinations and/or interference. Only full members of the Space Guard are allowed these rights granted by the Galactic Law. They are expected to protect any lower species from monsters and invasion. Some seventh dimension beings are exempt to the first law to a degree. When not protecting them, elders are expected to blend into that species' society as best they can, making sure to avoid any and every possibility of standing out. Elders may not interfere with any choice a species makes for itself unless there is adequate cause to believe they are being manipulated by another species' force. Elders are allowed the right to execute any perpetrator of any major law. However, if the perpetrator complies with arrest and/or is brought down peacefully, the elders is expected to bring them in alive. It is illegal to interfere with conflicts between civilizations native to the same world. Elders have the right to call parley between warring species. Any race that resists their command is treated as an invader. No civilization may war with another and/or attempt to invade another unless a declaration of war is made by the ruling government of the other civilization. Murder is prohibited, murder being understood as any sentient being killing another unlawfully. Each civilization may deal with such individuals on their own unless it is between two or more species. In that case, an elder is within rights to escort the suspect to the universal courts. If they do not comply, the suspect can be terminated on sight, which means to be sent to limbo. The unlawful cyberization, turning someone into a cyborg, hosts, food, slaves, free worker, without that individual's consent, own free will, is prohibited. When in places of law and interspecies, business only minor shapeshifting is allowed. This is defined as shapeshifting that can in no way be used for fraud, hiding, espionage, or masking the individual's identity. All beings that are part of an interstellar civilization are granted the right to call for an elder civilization to protect them from invaders, that is, unless they themselves are classified as invaders. All beings are expected to obey the laws of the planet they dwell upon unless they are in violation of galactic law. Black hole weapons, sunbeam weapons, extinction level, chemical and biological weapons, planet-destroying weapons and WMDs of a caliber above nuclear weapons are banned. All forms of possession are banned, possession being understood as entering, merging, and/or taking over of another sentient being's body and/or mind without their consent. The production or reverse engineering of other beings, crafts, greys, golems, goons, or workers are prohibited without a written order. Golems, greys, goons, and workers are artificially created beings from DNA and other creature cells as opposed to simple robots or android. Slavery between species is prohibited. Slavery of sentient beings is also prohibited. Production of bioweapons is prohibited. Planets with developing civilizations are protected from seeding, colonization, and terraforming. These acts and the alteration of a planet's ecosystem and/or evolution are a violation of the first law. All lower-level civilizations are not to be interfered with. Only elders and observers may visit these worlds, and only within the regulations of galactic law. Any being that breaks this will be considered an invader and subject to punishment by the nearest elder. Observers are expected to refrain from major interference in a species' development. Observers are allowed to decide whether a lower-level civilization is mature enough for contact with the galactic community. They can then decide who will precede over this. Sentience or souls are not to be used as a commodity. The predation of a sentient species by any other sentient species is prohibited. Predation is understood, and the hunting and/or killing of another life form for food, resources, or amusement. Territorial disputes are expected to be resolved between civilizations. If the issue is brought to the Universal Council, their say is final. Any attempt to break these agreements will be seen as an act of aggression. The unauthorized manipulation of another species' genetics is prohibited. Cross-species breeding is not allowed unless the governments of both species are in agreement. Ignorance of the law will not be treated as an excuse for breaking them for any species. The first claim to any mining rights is by default the native species. No religion may be established to control a lower species. Species may create their own religious beliefs. Objects or places of religious value for another species are to be treated with care and preserved. The destruction of these things is unforgiven if they prove to be endangering to the species that holds them. Attacking a species in full knowledge of their position as upholders of galactic law is prohibited, unless that species has apparently broken the laws themselves. It is prohibited to enter the 7th through 9th dimension unless one is an elder or invited by them. Life forms are not to be sought out nor interfered with unless in defense of universal civilization. Interference from elder-class life forms does not count as a violation of this law. Time travel is forbidden unless the species in question is granted permission by the Universal Council. The use of time travel to ensure a species' claim on a territory is considered fraud. Any attempt to change the timeline of a species is forbidden, even one's own is forbidden. Junction points are to be avoided at all costs. Two incarnations of an individual's from different times should not meet unless there is a good reason. This would mainly be restricted to combating a threat. In the instance of a universal threat, the laws of time may be broken and forgiven. No individual may change the Akashic records or memory of the stars, etc. Non-theoretic research into dimensional energy is forbidden. Attempts to break into the great beyond are forbidden. The unlawful attempt to bring back someone who, for all sense and understandings, which is the second death, the destruction of stars, any physical celestial body, is completely prohibited unless the star is artificial. The moving of any natural star is also prohibited with written order. Stars cannot and shall not be moved unless given direct pass from the Universal Court. Moving a planet back to its proper position/orbit is excused. Only governments of the native dominant species or ruling civilization may sell a planet. Individuals cannot own a planet. The buying of a planet places it under the secondary ownership of the being species, with the individual being the direct owner. Individuals who do not list their species as owners are considered planet poachers. The species may own the planet as a whole. It is illegal to mine a garden planet not cleared by the Galactic Council. It is illegal to have experiments on a planet with a lower-level civilization. It is illegal to hold experiments on planets owned by another race or civilization. The seeding of life on garden planets is illegal. Eco-structuring a previously developed and/or natural garden planet is prohibited. All ships must have a log, tracking number and a frequency band number to move and operate on the FTL highway in the 6th dimension. The statute of limitations for breaking any law is 100 years for short-lived species, 300 for species with fairly long lifespans, 1,000 for long-lived species. It is illegal to dump anything in the dark nebula due to the health hazard it poses for surrounding star systems. Animals or pet species placed on the protected list are not to be attacked or preyed upon. If one is somehow forced into a fight with them, lethal force is not allowed. What is an invader? An invader is any species or member of a species that actively partakes in acts of aggression in disregard of the galactic laws. Any species that exempts itself from the mandates of the Universal Council are treated as suspected invaders. What is an observer? An individual commissioned to study the growth and development of a species or civilization on its steps to spaceflight. Observers determine whether young planets will be protected from invasion or not. What is elder or God-class life forms? Elder or God-class life forms, or gods for short, are higher dimensional life forms who exist to balance out the unified field of the universe and ensure our zone's stability. The law of divine oneness is the MVP of the universal laws, in that it's the one upon which all others build. This law states that we are all connected through creation. Every single atom inside of you is connected in some way, shape, or form to the rest of the universe you move through. This means that everything we do has a ripple effect and impacts the collective, not just ourselves. To call upon this principle for self-improvement, simply remember that your actions both matter and make a difference. Law of vibration. Everything in the universe has a frequency and a vibration. Nothing ever stands still, as everything is always either being pushed away or pulled towards something. Furthermore, items of a similar vibrations are attracted to each other. So, to use this law to manifest your desires, you must match your vibration with that of what you want. Law of correspondence is the premise behind the law of correspondence, is that our lives are created by the subconscious patterns we repeat every single day, and these patterns either serve us or hold us back. Activate this law by becoming aware of your own patterns, which are often passed down via family ties, and then consciously taking action steps to break them. Law of attraction is the law of vibration in action. Many people get scared by the notion that bad thoughts or low vibrations can somehow destroy their life because they're unaware. The law is not a punishment, but a very clear mirror of our self-worth and mindset. You're surrounded by the outcome of decisions you've made in the past, and are fully capable of making other decisions and attracting a different set of circumstances. Law of inspired action. While the law of attraction is about vibrationally aligning yourself with whatever it is you want, the law of inspired action is about taking, you guessed it, action in order to bring what you want to fruition. So you can certainly create vision boards, but taking physical steps to move you closer to your vision is much more crucial. Law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This law means that even the smallest action can have a profound effect. Like the seed of a mighty tree holds all its promise in its tiny shell, you also have the power within you to move mountains. To put the law into action on a practical level, doing small things every day that uplift you, whether that's singing in the shower, dancing like nobody's watching, or anything else. Remember, small shifts equal major results. Law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect, also known as the law of karma, states that any action causes a reaction, and that whatever you put out, good or bad, you get right back. To harness the power of this law, be aware of how your actions and decisions are affecting not just yourself but everyone around you, and focus on sending out good vibes only. Law of compensation. The law of compensation is about reaping what you sow. It instills trust in us that we will be compensated for our work as long as we're open to receiving in all the many ways that the universe can deliver. To be clear, compensation in this sense isn't limited to employment arrangements or financial compensation. Rather, it's about receiving compensation for all your contributions to the world around you, including the love, joy, and kindness you spread. It is all rewarded. Law of relativity. Nothing and no one is inherently good or bad. Everything is a spectrum of expression, and there is more than one perspective on any situation or challenge. In other words, we are the ones who assign meaning to things, so we can choose to regard things as bad or as happening in our favor. Law of polarity. Everything has a polar opposite. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's light, there's dark. One cannot exist without the other. Experiencing these polarities is part of the human experience, and that they also help us learn from our mistakes and support us in identifying what we don't want, so we can get clearer on what we do want. Law of perpetual motion. The law of perpetual motion tells us that everything is forever changing, and our job is to embrace the ride. If life is tough and challenging, know that it will change. If everything is peachy, then savor the moment, but don't try to make it last beyond the natural order of things. Each stage of life has tremendous gifts to offer. The law of giving and receiving. The energies of giving and receiving operate within all of us, and in order to create flow, they need to be in balance. To work with this law is to recognize where in your life the balance between giving and receiving is off. You have to allow both sides in you to have their say and get their way. The law of balance is an important spiritual law that teaches us the importance of balance and how to achieve it in our lives. What is the law of balance? The law teaches us how to achieve this balance so that our lives are aligned to what the Supreme Almighty has designed for us. The Protected Planets Treaty, known also as the Anunnaki, feline, who are also known as the Lyrains, the Najaru, Asgard Greys, Andromedians, and the Blue Avians Treaty, was an intergalactic agreement between the Ascended High Council and Anunnaki Empire. Currently, there are thousands of planets included in this treaty. As of 2024, there are 39 planets under the protection of the treaty in your sector. In the year 2030, this treaty will be up, and your planet treaty would have to be renegotiated. There is also a 13-year grace period, giving you to the year 2043. After this, the planet will be back in the hands of the original species. It would then be under the fair game law unless the original species make new agreements. The High Council of the Ascended has designated your world as a safe world for developing sentient species by unanimous decree Era 40, 73.29. All system lords, leaders, chiefs, representees, and 90% of the known races in the galaxy have been so informed. The treaty ensures that certain planets remain free from unwarned oppression. Some advanced races view it as simply recognizing that the humanity exists solely to serve as hosts and slaves for them. The Anunnaki are expected to enforce the treaty on all of their subjects. In turn, the Najaru and Asgard Greys may not use their technology to advance a race living on one of the planets, even to prevent a natural disaster. Limits are also placed on the development of the populations of the planet to prevent them from becoming a threat to the Draco-reptilians. Definition of threat rests solely with the High Council of Ascended Beings. In case of disputed claim to treaty violation, a commission of inquiry would assemble to look into the matter. The commission will include an equal number of Anunnaki, Asgard Greys, and Najaru. The treaty was nullified with the disintegration of the Draco-Reptilian Empire. Treaty Law, Section 326 states that no human planet will be allowed to advance technologically to a point where they may become a threat to the Anunnaki or the bad reptilians. Subsection 42 states that the people on the planets cannot be artificially advanced through Asgard Greys or Najaru technological means. This prevented the Asgard Greys or the Najaru from interfering in natural disasters, and use of their technology in such circumstances would nullify the treaty entirely. The Reptilians and Markabian Greys have attempted to circumvent the Protected Planets Treaty on a number of occasions to launch attacks against Earth. The first such attempt was in the 1950s after the USA dropped the atomic bomb. The use of this bomb by humans broke the treaty. The second attempt to circumvent the treaty occurred in 1952, 1962, 1972, 1992, 2002, 2012, and 2022. In 2002, when a meteorite whose mass was 40% pure plutonium was dragged into the solar system by the reptilians and set on a collision course with Earth, knowing that the Earth humans would attempt to stop it with a nuclear warhead, such an attempt would cause an explosion equal to that in force of a small supernova, with enough energy to set the atmosphere of Earth on fire and boil the oceans. While also aware that the Anunnaki, Najaru and Asgard Greys, under the terms of the treaty, would not be able to intervene to prevent what would simply appear to be a natural disaster. And that all we have for you today, family? Hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more bangers. Hit that bell. Check back with us every day for new content.